My kids are playing VR if you hear them. I'm just gonna explain it how I do it. Do your own research on it. It makes me nervous to show beauty things like this because I don't want people coming at me. For my eyelashes, I want them darker. For my eyebrows, I want it lighter. So what I'm gonna do is for my eyebrows, I want it light. So I'm just gonna do kind of a blob like this. And then on the other side, I'm gonna do a little blob, just a tiny blob. So then I'm gonna do the color. So I want a little bit more darker for my eyelashes. So I'm gonna do kind of a big blob of color over the smaller blob. So it's kind of like the opposite, a big blob of white, little blob of color. Little blob of white, big blob of color. And then, okay. Just eyeball it, just trust yourself. Then what I'm gonna do is to just take like the end of a makeup brush or something and stir it. And then I let this kind of sit for like 30 seconds. I don't know why. No one told me to do that. It just makes me feel better. Trying to get it all mixed together. And then you can kind of see the color difference of the one that I'm going to use on my eyelashes. So this one will be a little bit darker. This one that's a little bit lighter, I'm gonna use this on my eyebrows. So since my eyelashes needs to sit for about 10 minutes, I'm gonna do that first. So I take one of these little brush things that I already have. This is what I use. I'm trying to get the best angle. But basically you just very carefully wipe it on your lashes. Have I gotten it in my eye before? Yes. Did it hurt? Not really. I don't go all the way down. Like I don't like, as I would put on mascara, I kind of do that. I just don't, I more or less glob it on, but I don't let it get to the very, very like root of my root. That's not right. The dye is like clumpy on my lashes. So that's kind of how I do my lashes. So I'm gonna rinse this and then I will do my eyebrows. Let me try to do it in here. Basically, I just want to get every hair covered for right now. So I'm going to take that dye and I'm going to go up with, it's really hard to see in this, so I have no idea if I'm getting it all over. You're gonna go this way, dip it a little bit more, go down with the hair. I'm just trying to get all of the hair covered. You don't have to really worry about it being on your skin. Just to be safe, I take a Q-tip and then I go around on my skin. Okay, so as it's kind of processing, you can kind of see how it is darkening it. Here's the thing to remember. It will darken, at least it did for me. It will darken a little bit as the day goes on. For some reason, it just does that. Even if it's not looking really dark like I want it, I take it off. All right, so it's been a couple minutes. I am gonna go ahead and just wipe off the first half of my eyebrow. Because I like the second, the end part of it to be a little bit darker. All right, I just wiped it off completely. So I'm gonna take, I just use water and I'm just gonna rub all over so it's off of my skin. Now I'm just gonna take this toilet paper and I'm just going to kind of like pull off the dye. I just am very picky on my eyebrows, I think, because they're so light and they're so blonde, and that's probably one of my biggest, I don't know, it's always been an insecurity. Done. Good enough. All right, guys, let's get started on this laundry room update. I am just trying to go through room by room and just kind of getting rid of the cluttered spots. It's not anything crazy, but in my mind, stuff is not where it's supposed to be. So I kind of wanted to get everything out of my laundry room, do a big wipe down and clean of everything. This is definitely a high traffic area. The dogs lay in here. There's dirt and dog hair and stuff that, you know, gets settled in the corners. So I wanted to basically take everything out of this room and kind of upgrade it a little bit, refresh it a little bit, but just using things that I have. as of right now, I'm just trying to do that. Use everything that I have at home, not purchase anything extra. Once I have everything in a good spot, then I can kind of go on Amazon or do a little shopping this summer, which I'm so excited about, and slowly just start adding a little bit more to what we already have. My biggest issue with when I do projects is always having to hang stuff on the walls. I don't remember, I never remember what kind of walls these are. I think it's drywall, but they suck. They are terrible, and it's really hard to hang anything because half the time there's nothing extra behind the wall, so it sucks to hang stuff up. So you have to do the extra step of drilling a hole in the wall, putting the plastic anchor in, and it's just kind of a pain. So the wood that I have was just lying around in my shop. I also had shelf brackets, like extra shelf brackets, and then whatever stain that I had to, I just ended up using. It really wasn't the color that I wanted, but I really just didn't want to have this be a big project. I just wanted to use what we had to kind of update and refresh the space just a little bit. So I stained the wood. I was really hoping to have like a thicker piece of wood or maybe make a floating shelf in there, but this wood will do for now. So before I got into like woodworking fully or doing DIY crafts, that kind of thing, my very first project was a piece of wood, and I screwed some handles on it and I stained it. And that was like a big deal to me because I had never stained anything. I had no idea what I was doing, but that's literally where I started. And staining wood, I promise, is so simple. I've never messed it up. I can't really see how you could, but you just take a little bit and you go with the grain on it and wipe it off. So I don't really know how you could mess it up, but that is a great way to start if you are wanting to do DIY, start doing like crafty stuff around your house. Just start. I promise it will come. There are so many projects that I have started that I have no idea what I'm doing, and I ask my husband, I call my dad, I Google or YouTube a ton of things, and you just learn with every project. So if you are nervous about starting something, just start it, and then you'll run into issues and you just figure it out as you go. And it's not as intimidating as it seems to be, I promise. But I am getting the walls wiped down. My dogs are always in my space. They have a thing with like lights. When they see lights, they go crazy. So I don't know what they see on the floor, apparently a light. But look at, they are like legit under my feet. I actually ended up finding these slabs of wood up in my loft. They are oak and they are so heavy. So I was a little nervous that they were going to be too much for the wall because, as you know, our walls are terrible to hang stuff on. So I double checked with Brett. I got the brackets on at least. I did as much as I could, but I just could not hold up because it was so heavy. I couldn't hold it up and measure and drill and put a screw in the brackets. So I called my man up to help me, and of course he always has to like give me a hard time with it, but that's our love language, and I love it that we are very sarcastic with each other and like playful, but that is like our thing. See, he's like trying to knock it down, and then he takes this hook and tries to screw it in the side of my shelf. Like, you don't know decor. That's not what we're doing. So I also wanted to hang up my kids' helmets. It's just, I kind of gave in. It's just going to be a part of our decor. So now it's just a matter of putting everything kind of back in here, trying to find a spot for it. I'm sure I will end up kind of replacing things as we go, but for now, just putting everything back in a place. I really liked having our muck boots right inside the door. I'm trying to figure out maybe a little something different with our shoes. Like maybe I can add more shelves or something, but my purpose of having those big oak shelves that I hung up, I want to put a couple baskets on there. That way in the summertime, I can put swimsuits and all that kind of stuff in those baskets. And then in the winter time, I want to have a spot for gloves and hats, because right now I just kind of throw it wherever, throw it in a spot. But I kind of want, I want our space to be a little bit more functional versus totally pretty and perfect. I think that's kind of what I'm going for. And then when I thought I was done, I looked in my corner and I saw these shelves that Brett had made a long time ago, but they just weren't, they were more like country primitive farmhouse look versus, I guess, more of my style now. So I took them down, tried to fill these holes with a knife, like a butter knife, because I had nothing else. Dropped the butter knife, found a plastic knife, we got it going. But that was all that I could do at that moment, because I had to wait for the stuff that I put in the holes. I had to wait for that to dry. I needed to sand it, paint it. So as of right now, the laundry room is done. I will hang those oak slabs. I have 2 more that look just like the shelves that we hung up earlier. I will hang those up, but you kind of get an idea of what it will look like. And then I ended up making TikTok quesadillas for dinner. It's just how they are folded and kind of like layered, but these are always a huge hit in my house. Okay, really quick before I go eat, I wanted to show you how much darker my eyebrows got. This is like slowly over the day. I have nothing on them, nothing on my eyelashes, and you can see, like, especially my eyebrows, how much darker they got. Let me get in this lighting. You can kind of see a little bit better, like they got darker. So if you do the whole beard dye thing, please don't leave it on for too long.